be the first readathon month where I actually finished all of the required reads before the end of the month. Sure, there's a caveat to why, but that's not important right now because the library hold came off and I was able to actually squeeze that one in too. For April, I participated in the Magical Readathon hosted by G at Book Roast, where you go to Aurelium Academy to study for jobs like calling, so it's like a college, and each class will have prompts as to what books you should read for that. If you saw my April TBR outlining which books I plan to read for which classes, the wrap-ups might be a bit surprising because there were definitely substitutions made and happened, but I'm glad. I needed to read a total of 5 books to complete all of my classes, so our statistics that I'm fixing to name you might be a bit off-sounding, but bear with me. Hopefully it all makes sense once we get to the end. For the amount of pages read, there was 595. For the amount of hours listened to, there was 25 and a half. There was 1 ebook, 2 physical, and 3 audiobooks, counting one of them that it's a thing. It's a soft DNF, we'll just say that. It's a soft DNF. The classes I was supposed to take would be Elemental Studies, would be a temperature word in the title. And this one I picked Cold Eternity, and I'm very happy to say that I did listen to this one's audiobook. It was my 3rd one of the month. I guess we're not going in order because I wrote it down very out of order. This one, it is a sci-fi horror-ish book by S.A. Barnes. In this one, you are following Haley Zwick, which no, that is not her real name, and you find out really early on that this is a fake identity that she bought to get away from something that happened. I don't know. I feel like she should have stayed, but if she stayed, then she would have never stopped the thing on Elysium, which is a floating cryogenic ship that 200 years ago, I think it was, a billionaire came up with the idea to cryogenically freeze the rich, powerful, and anybody who could afford it. Well, it proved to be a little bit less reliable in the thawing process than he imagined it would be. And the Elysium Fields, as the huge cryogenic ship was known, was turned into a museum, and then eventually the museum was shut down, and it is just maintained though by the board of trustees, and they kind of don't hire anyone else to maintain it. She went there to work. That way she would be out of where anybody who wants to hurt her could find her. And things start going weird from the first day. Obviously, you're alone with only one other person, who I severely question if this person was alive the whole time, because it never showed where she actually was meeting him until way late in the book. And I'm like, oh my God, this isn't a real person. This isn't a real person. She's alone on the ship with supposedly all the frozen peoples, but there's lots of weird noises and lots of weird things happening. And it all does get explained in an odd way, but it was a bit creepy. There was definitely that. And it went in a way that I did not expect it to go. So that was fun. And I greatly enjoyed it. And it was a 4-star read, I want to say, right? Then for Inscription, it was a day of the week in the title, which sadly I had read Thursday Murder Club the month before. So this left me trying to find something to fit that I actually wanted to read. And I found Monday Morning from Kathy Reach as an audiobook at my library. I didn't really think about it too hard when I found it. And it said it was 4 hours, and I'm like, well, that's really short. Even for one in a series and a police procedural, that seems really short, but maybe it's like a novella. It was the abridged copy of book 7 or something in the Temperance Burn-In series. And I couldn't get the unabridged one. And so this one just wasn't going to work. So I used a scroll of DNF to just pass this class. And that's all we did. The first book that I read for the month would be for the restoration class, which was to get a bunch of 5-star picks and randomize which one you would get. And I got The Book Witch by Meg Schaefer, which worked out perfectly because I had the e-arc for it. And this one was, I'll say it was a 3.75. I'll maybe round it up because it was adorable. You're following character Rainey March, who is a book witch. What book witches do is they have the power to jump into stories to fix them when things go awry. And this could be because their nemesis is the book burners, go in the story to try to burn the stories down from the inside, thus erasing the story from the consciousness of the population and existence, because only the best stories should exist in the world, and then we'll have a perfect population. But it's just such a cool magic system that you can jump into stories, to spend time with those characters, to fix the stories, pretty much. There is some sort of magic on its own where sometimes characters from stories can accidentally pop out into the world. In this one, though, you are following Rainy as, well, she's been punished for something that happened 2 years before, which you see at the beginning in the book. She's not allowed to go on cases right now. But her pops has disappeared for over a week now on an off-the-books assignment, and she's starting to get really worried about him, especially when someone breaks into her house. And so she needs a detective to help solve the case, and she turns to fictional noir detective Nick Duke from Gangland, Chicago in the 1930s, and their adventure together and the romance between them together that they're not supposed to have, because she's a real person and he's a fictional character, and it just can't happen. And they jump in and out of all different genre of stories, and you're following through it, and it's just really interesting. I love the magic system here and the way it set up everything, and I like the ending and how it just talks about how stories are magical and they impact and can change people's lives, and the loss of a story would change like what happened to people in the real world. Like they would never have the courage to do these things or have been able to get to these places without the story that they read having impacted their life and having given them hope or given them courage. Then the one I ended up going with for Spells and Incantations, which was to have one on the bestseller list. Okay, so maybe it's a little cheating, but my library hold came in for this one, and it's kind of a new release, and that's This Story Just Might Save Your Life by Tiffany Crum. I did not expect the audiobook hold to come in that quickly, but it was on Libro FM's and Audible's kind of bestseller list. So I filled it into this spot. That way I could listen to it while I had the audiobook hold. And also, I highly recommend listening to this one because it has different elements than you would get in the print version. Like it has a bonus podcast episode there at the end, because the two main characters of the book are Benny something and Joy Moore, and they are podcast hosts of This Story Just Might Save Your Life. That's the name of their podcast, where they go over crazy situations and stories of survival. It started out with Joy, who has severe narcolepsy, and how, she has had weird narcoleptic attacks. And then it morphed and became popular, and they have viewers submit stories. You are kind of introduced to it, and then the next time you see one of the characters, Joy's missing, her husband's missing, their house is kind of in shambles, and it's trying to put the pieces together. And then you don't see Joy's perspective again for a while, at least in the present. You're getting snippets from her unpublished memoir that they were writing at the time. So all you're seeing is Benny in the present time, but you're hearing from Joy in what she wrote in her memoir. So I had fun with it. Possibly because it is an audiobook format, it was very enjoyable from that. As a suspensey mystery sort of thing, because he's trying to find his best friend, he's this main suspect at the moment, which he doesn't help his case in some regards. The final class would be lore, and that's to read a dystopian or utopian book. And I was like, this is perfect. I can finally get to Reset by Serena Dawn, and I even got the ebook from the library. That way I didn't have to worry about my pretty copy. Okay, I haven't finished this one. This is the soft DNF of the month, because I might come back to it. It's very slow. I'm not even sure how far I've made it. I think I made it to page 100. But you're following two characters in this world where climate change, or I think there was bombs, has pretty much ruined the world. And all there is the four cities that the founder created maybe 100 years ago. I think it's even less than 100 years. These are domed cities. They're climate controlled, population controlled. And to prevent people from being people, pretty much, and causing chaos and causing trauma, they have something that does the tabula rasa to them where it wipes the memory. And my biggest question was, how in the world could you have children in this? Well, one, they're created through science. That's the only way they have kids at this medical center, and the kids live there through the age of 18. So pretty much it's a medical research orphanage. Nobody knows how old they are because they have no memories past 4 years. Every 4 years, the slate's wiped clean. You remember nothing. You don't know who you are, anything. And the reason I didn't complete that one would be this book, and I just ended up subbing this book into it. And that's There Is No Anti-Memetics Division by QNTM. I kept saying this wrong in the vlog that I attempted to film for this, which I don't know if I'm going to put up or not. It is weird in the extreme. I don't know that it's... Well, it depends on what you find horrific, I suppose. It just gave me the creep, but it was not a scary sort of thing. It was just an odd sort of thing. The whole purpose of this book, though, is there is a division works against memetics, which are unknown entities that eat your memories. And also they put off vibes, because that not all of them eat your memories, but they do bad things sometimes, but you can't see them because they have camouflage that they have developed over centuries to where they could be next to you and you can't see them, you can't perceive them. And it's not just things that would do harm to humans, it seems like they're just animals too. Like there was animals listed in this book that have been around forever, it sounds like, and we just can't see them because they don't want to be seen, because they would like to stay alive, which fair. You mostly follow one main character through this book, though, as lots of things tie back to her. She is currently the head of the Anti-Memetics Division, and pretty much they're trying to stop this really, really bad thing from happening. That they have been noticing the pieces being put together, that it seems there's something larger at play here than just what they assumed. There's so much, and I don't even know how to describe and tell you about this book without spoiling some bits. And there's a lot of moments, though, where it really makes you question things, and it makes you think about things and what's important, and who are you with your memories gone, and how much of it will it change you, and how much is the core of you that you can still stay the same and fight pretty much in this. But it's not very long, and it's very different, and I think a lot of people should try it. So those were all of the ones for Aurelium, and then randomly, even though a few days before it said I wouldn't get it for weeks, my library hold for Swordcatcher by Cassandra Clare came in, and I've made it this far. It's not bad, it's also going kind of slow as it's setting up the world and the characters, and I appreciate that, and appreciate that we are spending time with it, but by page 200 I would think more would have started off. For our book mail, we have 2 broken binding packages. My pre-order finally came in maybe around the 10th, and then the 2nd of the sci-fi subscription. Yeah, which I don't remember if it was a month late or not. So this one is our subscription, and there's a bookmark. The Broken Binding, celebrating 5 years. In a future less than 50 years away, the world is still as we knew it. The truth is that time is ticking away. A powerful few know what lies ahead. They're preparing for it. They're trying to protect us. They are setting us on a path from which we can never return. A path that will lead to destruction. A path that will take us below ground. That means this one's my pre-order. Children of Strife by Adrian Tchaikovsky. I can't wait. They thought they'd found refuge, but their paradise became a prison. Centuries ago, a maverick terraforming team played God with a distant planet. Out of their vanity and spite, something terrible and unexpected arose. Book 4 in the Children of Time series. Yeah, they mostly need to be read in order to understand, especially one particular character. But I do love how each and every book is a split timeline, where it is back in the original terraforming generation and in the present future, and how much you get to see of what happened then versus what happened now. and one of the characters who has kind of transformed and somewhat been a part of every book in a fashion iteration. May's reading plans then, because I'm not doing an actual TBR video, I'm probably not going to have any Friday videos over the next month. We're just going to do the new releases. Well, the kids are busy with their end of school stuff. They have finals, and hopefully I will have a thing too. And so what we are doing, we are finishing this one, definitely finishing it before the audiobook hold goes back to the library. I'm finally going to read the Demon Slayer series, all 23 volumes. I can just sit and I can read one volume a day and only take 30 minutes. And also there might be some other audiobook holds that come in from the library. I would love to know though how your April wrapped up, what your reading plans are looking like for May, what your excited books are. Like, the first 2 weeks releases of May are stacked, by the way. Like, I think they're trying to get the Mother's Day sales in because there's a lot. There is a lot of new releases that are so awesome and so anticipated at the beginning of the month. I just hope that you are finding something great to read today though, and that I will see you in the next one.